No one wants me to make this video, but whatever, I don't really care. Skyrim is pretty fun to play, and despite the fact that the constant ports have turned it into a running joke, it's still pretty good. I played the shit out of it when it came out in 2011 on the Xbox 360. I still play it on PC every couple of years or so, and I've even got some fun out of playing the special edition on the Switch. So despite the fact that I'm striking while the iron is fucking cold, I don't really give a shit. Alright, all the fucking dummies out here complaining about Bethesda making 20 different versions of Skyrim, but apparently they all conveniently forgot about the fact that they were all jerking off to this shit back in 2011. Now, if your favorite Elder Scrolls game is Morrowind, then you can go ahead and complain. I mean, at least the fucking nerds who loved Morrowind actually hated this shit from the beginning. At least they aren't lying. Meanwhile, all the casual players who started with Oblivion and Skyrim are posting shitty Todd Howard memes like, oh no, Todd, I don't want Skyrim. I want a new game, Todd. Blah, blah, blah. Oh no, I was playing this other game, but now I'm in the Skyrim intro. Oh no, get me out. And it's like back in 2011, you were all on the Skyrim bandwagon and you know it, you two-faced motherfuckers. You were all yanking your fucking sausage, wearing the goddamn iron helmet, Boostro dawing your premature cum watching the Skyrim trailer. Like I fucking saw you. I saw your fucking dicks. Now, as one of the fucking casuals who played Oblivion first, there's a lot of stuff I like about Skyrim, but it's also sort of dumbed down in comparison. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, but for this video, I'm going to focus on the most boring aspect of Skyrim that no one gave a fuck about. The main quest. Skyrim starts with your character being imprisoned, but this time it's revolving around a dispute between the Empire and a rebellion faction called the Stormcloaks. For whatever reason, your character was captured alongside the Stormcloaks in an ambush while you were crossing the border, and now you're being sent to Helgen to be executed. Luckily, right before your head gets chopped off, a dragon randomly appears and you're able to escape the town and the chaos. This is where the game presents an extremely bizarre scenario where you can either leave the city with your fellow prisoner or one of the Imperial soldiers who almost killed you for no reason. So obviously, since I'm not a fucking idiot, I decide to leave with Ralof. Now, the main quest of Skyrim revolves around the resurrection of dragons, but there's also a B-plot that involves the civil war between the Stormcloaks and the Empire, and the whole quest line is really dumb. The game sets up these two clashing political factions and asks the player to pick a side, but then the prologue instantly botches the whole quest line right from the start. I mean, the game starts with your character trapped with Ralof in this messed up situation. Ralof's explaining his past life, he's facing death with honor and dignity, and then you have this fucking guy. He's just standing there with a goddamn list. He eventually calls you out, realizes that you're not supposed to be here, and then he's just like, hey Captain, this person isn't on the list. What do we do? And then she's like, fuck it. Let's just kill them anyways. And then he's just like, well, looks like you're dead. And it's like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, why the hell would anyone side with the Empire when they almost killed you for no reason? You'd honestly have to be role-playing as a drooling retard to even consider the Empire as an option. It's so fucking dumb. Now, if you do some research and read up on all the lore, the Empire honestly might seem like the better option. But then fuck you! That's not you role-playing and making decisions from the point of view of your character. That's just you being a fucking nerd sitting at your desk, making decisions on extremely elaborate politics that's completely removed from the experience of your playthrough. Alright, at the end of the day, I make decisions based on the things that happen to my character. And the fact of the matter is that anyone who's willing to join up with the Empire after witnessing the prologue of the game is honestly a fucking idiot. In fact, you could be role-playing as the biggest Imperial cocksucker whose only goal is to go to Solitude in order to join the Empire and suck off General Tullius, and you'd still come across like a total dumbass bootlicker piece of shit. Anyways, you travel to Riverwood with Ralof, and then you talk to Girder and explain the situation. With the dragon running loose, Girder wants you to travel to Whiterun and ask the Jarl to send more troops to protect Riverwood. So then he talks to the Jarl, and then he's like, yeah, sure, that's fine, whatever. And then the Jarl's just like, oh hey, I guess you aren't doing shit right now. How about you help out my court wizard with something? Apparently the court wizard has been doing some research on dragons and he wants your help to find a stone tablet that contains a map of dragon burial sites. The dragon stone is hidden away at Bleak Falls Barrow. It's sort of like an introduction dungeon and there really isn't that much to it. All you really do is walk into the place, kill everything, grab the stone tablet, and then bring it back to him. However, one of the things that really bugs me about this quest is this fucking spider. This fucking spider! Like, fuck the main quest, this fucking spider pisses me off. Why is the spider floating in midair? Why did no one fix this? So, whatever. You get the dragon stone and then you give it to Farengar, but now a dragon is starting to attack a nearby watchtower, so now you gotta kill it. The dragons in Skyrim are sort of like wandering boss fights, and overall, I think they're pretty cool. Most of the time, you're just walking around trying to do something, but then, oh shit, it's a fucking dragon, shit, super fucked! Now, the only issue with the dragons is that if you don't have any ranged attacks, 75% of the fight is just waiting for them to land in a wide open area so you can hit them, which is a major problem when the entire game takes place in a non-flat mountainous region. Like, Jesus Christ, who is the dumb fuck who came up with that? Like, I swear to God, most of the dragon fights are you just standing still and you're just like, hey, dragon, land on the ground so I can hit you, you fuck! Hey! Hey! Where the fuck you going? Anyways, your character somehow kills the dragon, and it's later discovered that your character is Dragonborn, a mortal blessed with the blood of Akatosh. By being Dragonborn, your character can absorb the knowledge of dragon shouts directly from dragons by stealing their soul and stripping them of their immortality. This gives your character the ability to kill dragons, but it also allows you to use the Thuum, which is basically the ability to use magic by shouting. So now your character goes back to Whiterun, and then the Greybeards are like, fuck! And it's like, what the fuck was that? And then the Jarl's like, yo, the Greybeards have summoned you. They want you to go up that big ass mountain. You gotta go. And it's like, okay. I guess I have nothing else to do. Anyways, you get to High Hrothgar, and the Greybeards are sort of like pacifist monks that want to mentor your character's ability to master the Thuum. You see, the Greybeards also know how to use dragon shouts, but without the abilities of the Dragonborn, it requires them extensive training and meditative study to master the voice. Basically, the only important thing is that they teach your character some new words of power, and then as a final trial, they want you to go to Ustengrav and retrieve the horn of Jurgen Windcaller. So you travel to Ustengrav, you kill a bunch of shit, and then you find out that someone else has already taken the horn and they want to meet you back in Riverwood. The person who took the horn is named Delphine, and she is a total cunt. Apparently dragons aren't just coming back, but they're being resurrected from the dead, and Delphine needs your character's help because only the Dragonborn can absorb a dragon's soul and truly kill them. So now you have to go to Kynesgrove with Delphine to kill a dragon. Total bitch. In the meantime, now you can take the horn of Jurgen Windcaller back to the Greybeards and complete your final trial. So at this point, you'll have learned all 3 words of power to Unrelenting Force, which is where the whole gimmick of using dragon shouts kind of falls apart for me. I mean, it's still exciting to find new words of power and to unlock new abilities, but Fusro Da is just so fucking overpowered that everything else just feels kind of underwhelming. You unlock Fusro Da within like the first 2 hours of the main quest. It's easily the most universal shout that can complement any build in the entire game, and collecting all 3 words of power for another shout that's just as good might end up taking another 50 hours of gameplay. Honestly, I don't think I've ever used any other shout in the entire game. Like, why even bother? You have Fusro Da, just fucking push people off mountains. Like, who gives a shit about all this other stuff? Like, oh no, you can control animals. Like, fuck you, Fusro Da, get the fuck off the mountain, bitch. Also, what the fuck is up with Fusro Da in this game? In the trailer, you see the iron helmet dude, and then when they use it, it's just like, Fusro Da! It's the Lord! Fucking cool! But then in the game, it's like, Fus? And it's like, what the fuck was that, Todd? You botched the best part of the trailer, the goddamn cum blast moment. You couldn't even do that right. Like, why even bother? Fuck this game. So now you go to Kynesgrove with Delphine, and the dragon from the prologue shows up and resurrects a dragon that was buried underground. You kill the dragon, and then Delphine tells you that she was once a member of the Blades, and that she's trying to figure out a way to stop the dragons from being resurrected. So now she's like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I bet the Thalmor are behind these dragon attacks because they benefit the most from the Civil War. So now you have to sneak into the Thalmor embassy so I can get some clues on what's going on. And it's like, Fusro Da, later, bitch. I'm gonna become an assassin. I'm gonna explore Skyrim and kill bandits and explore a bunch of caves and learn a bunch of dragon shouts and magic spells and get new weapons and armor. Fuck you, Delphine. Fuck the main quest. fuck this Civil War, Thalmor politics bullshit. It's fucking boring. Who gives a fuck? Now, if I wasn't making this video, that's what I would do. But since we're covering the main quest, let's just entertain the idea and help out Delphine with her stupid shit. So in order to get into the Thalmor embassy, you have to do all this unnecessary espionage bullshit. Delphine has to create a forged invite so you can sneak into a party. You have to smuggle in all your equipment and weapons through another spy, and you go through all this effort to sneak into this goddamn embassy, and the millisecond you get your gear back, it all goes out the fucking window. It's like you bust the door, it's like, where are the files, you fucking Thalmor? I'm gonna beat your fucking asses. Give me that shit. Let's get the fuck out of here. Like, why even bother? Should've just hopped the fucking fence for all that was worth. Anyways, after doing all that shit, apparently the Thalmor didn't do anything and have nothing to do with the dragons. Like, what a waste of fucking time, Delphine, you fucking idiot. Luckily, according to some files you found, there's apparently a member of the Blades named Esbern who's still alive, and he might actually know what's going on. So now you have to track down Esbern, who's located somewhere in Riften. To find out where he's hiding, Delphine tells you that you should talk to Brynjolf in order to get some information. Now, if we want to talk about one of the main reasons why I prefer Oblivion to Skyrim, this part of the main quest really showcases how fucking baby casual this game is. You see, in order to find Esbern, you have to do a little favor for Brynjolf, which just so happens to be a soft introduction to the Thieves Guild. Now, I know what you're thinking, Sam, why the fuck are we doing a Thieves Guild quest when we're trying to cover the main story? Well, the annoying thing with Skyrim is that the game does this blatant scripted sequence bullshit where it exposes you to each of the guild quests throughout the main story in order to streamline the experience. This means that if you came to Riften looking for Esbern, you'll most likely talk to Brynjolf first and be required to do the soft introduction Thieves Guild quest before continuing the main quest, just so that the Thieves Guild quest line will be added into your journal. On a surface level, it's understandable that Bethesda would want players to discover all of these lengthy guild quests, but the way it's done in Skyrim is just so obnoxious. Even the simple act of just entering Riften is completely ridiculous. As you're approaching the main gates, a soldier tries to shake your character down for some gold, and it's like, oh, okay, Riften is a pretty sketchy town for some reason. But then the millisecond you enter the city, the game's just like, hey buddy, you might get your pockets picked by thieves here. This town's real sketchy, son. Hey, I had another run-in with the Thieves Guild. Hey, oh man, my shipment got stolen by a bunch of thieves. I wonder who did that. Hey, you look like you're earning a lot of coin there, buddy. You want to join the fucking Thieves Guild? It's a town of thieves over here in Riften. The Thieves Guild is in Riften. And it's like, is this for fucking real? What? Anyways, since the game forces you to join the Thieves Guild, Brynjolf tells you that Esbern is probably in the Ratway. After a little bit of exploring, you eventually find Esbern locked up like some psycho motherfucker, and then he's like, shit, super fucked, cause Alduin has returned, we're all going to die, cause he's going to devour the entire world and no one can stop him. And then it's like, oh, I'm Dragonborn, I can stop him. And then he's like, oh, okay. So now you take Esbern back to Delphine, and then Esbern's like, yo, at Skyhaven Temple, there's a fucking wall. It's Alduin's wall. We can read the wall and figure out how to kill Alduin, and no one's ever found this shit because it's been hidden this whole time. So now you all go to Skyhaven Temple, and your character has to offer their dragon blood to open the door. And it's like, oh, no wonder no one's ever found this shit. But then you walk inside, and Alduin's wall is like right underneath a big ass fucking hole in the roof where any motherfucker could just jumped down and found the wall within like 3 seconds. Like, how the fuck has no one found this shit? Anyways, Esbern looks at Alduin's wall and he realizes that the ancient Nords were able to defeat Alduin in the past by using a shout. So now Delphine's like, oh god damn it, now we have to ask the Greybeards for help, fucking cocksucker motherfuckers. And it's like, what the fuck is your problem? And then she's like, well, they just sit on their fucking asses on that mountain and don't do shit. They could have helped stop the Civil War. They could have helped stop Alduin. And it's like, what the fuck do you expect them to do? They are literally helping me master the Thu'um. They've only been helpful this entire time. They can't kill Alduin. They can't stop the Civil War. Delphine, you are such a fucking asshole. So now you go back to the Greybeards and it's like, hey, so the Blade said there's a shout that can help me defeat Alduin. Do you know it? And then the Greybeards are like, man, why the fuck you helping out the blades? And it's like, dude, I know they fucking suck in this game, but the blades are helping me out, alright? And I need to learn that shout because I need to defeat Alduin because I need to kill him for some reason. And the Greybeards are like, oh, okay, that's fine. But listen, that shout is called Dragon Rent, and we don't know the words of power. But maybe Parthenax might know that. So now the Greybeards teach your character the Clear Sky shout so you can travel to the very top of the mountain. And then you finally get to meet the leader of the Greybeards, who is a giant fucking dragon. So now Parthenax is just like, oh, okay, you want to learn Dragon Rent to defeat Alduin. That's cool, but why? And then it's like, I don't know, because Esbern told me that Alduin is bad? Like, honestly, I don't even know. I'm just blindly doing the main quest. I don't even give a shit. And then Parthenax is just like, oh, okay, no worries. So now Parthenax explains that the ancient Nords created Dragon Rend to defeat Alduin on top of this mountain. But since they weren't able to kill him, they had to use an Elder Scroll to transport Alduin to the future. So in order to learn Dragon Rend, you need to find an Elder Scroll and read it on top of the mountain near the Time Wound, whatever the fuck that is, which will allow you to sort of travel back in time, I guess, and learn Dragon Rend from the ancient Nords who sent Alduin to the future. So sick. That's the fucking plan. So in order to find an Elder Scroll, you have to do a little bit of research at the College of Winterhold. So you travel to the college, and then this bitch is just like, you can't enter the college without joining the Mages Guild. And it's like, dude, I just need to talk to someone for like 5 minutes. I don't know any magic. I'm not joining the fucking Mages Guild. And it's like, you must possess some magical ability to gain access to the college. And it's like, are you fucking serious? I'm the fucking Dragonborn. I can shout magic, all right? Bah! And then it's like, oh, wicked. We can use a proper mage like you. Let me get you suited into your robes. And it's like, god damn it. So now that the game forces you to join the Mages Guild, this bitch is just like, oh bloody hell, here's your fucking Harry Potter robes. Let me take you on a tour of the university. We'll get you sorted for your first magic class. And it's like, yeah, I'll be with you in a minute. Get this fucking shit off me. God, fuck. Not a fucking mage. So now you bust into the fucking library and it's like, hey bro, I need an Elder Scroll. You got a couple in the back? And this orc's like, are you fucking serious? Nah bro, I got books. So then you read a couple of books and then it's like, this shit is fucking nonsense. What the fuck is this shit? And the orc's just like, oh yeah, some crazy psycho named Septimus Cygnus wrote that book. He fucking ran away years ago, hiding out in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know where he is. And then it's like, oh okay, I guess I'll never be able to find him. Quest failed. Game over. But luckily, through the power of your character's intuition, the game just gives you a quest marker and it's like, oh, he's over there. Just go get him. And then it's like, oh, but he ran away years ago in the middle of nowhere. How the fuck, how am I supposed to know this? It's like, no, the quest marker. Follow the quest marker. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, thank God this quest marker just randomly appeared out of nowhere, or else I'd be fucked. So you eventually find Septimus Cygnus because the game told you where he is, and then he gives you a magic cube and tells you that the Elder Scroll is hidden at Blackreach. And it's like, cool. Okay. In order to get to Blackreach, you first have to go to Alftand and go through this like 3-hour long dungeon. It takes fucking forever, and then you find this dwarven contraption that you shove the cube in, and then you just constantly press buttons and nothing happens, and it's like, what the fuck is this shit? And you just keep pressing buttons, and it's like, okay, I guess something is happening, I guess, and then you just keep mashing buttons until the game's like, oh, okay, you mashed the buttons long enough, I guess I'll just give you an Elder Scroll now, and it's like, come on, fuck off. So now you take the Elder Scroll back to the throat of the world, you read it while you're inside of the Time Wound, whatever the fuck that is, and then your character sees a vision of the past and learns Dragon Rend from the ancient Nords who sent Alduin to the present time. Also, apparently Alduin knew that your character learned Dragon Rend at this very moment and decided to show up and fight you. Like, oh shit, that's convenient. Now, Dragon Rend is a very useful shout for fighting against dragons, but gameplay-wise, it's kind of hilarious how it's been implemented. I mean, in the lore of the Elder Scrolls, Dragon Rend forces dragons to experience the concept of human mortality and drastically weakens them. However, the game does a really poor job at explaining why this was such a necessary shout to have. After all, Dragon Rend was never required to defeat every other dragon in the game, so it doesn't really feel like a skill that's required to defeat Alduin. Gameplay-wise, the only thing Dragon Rend really does is force dragons to land on the ground, and while it's a very useful shout to have, it also leads to some hilarious assumptions. Like, gameplay-wise, apparently the only reason Alduin is the most powerful dragon in existence is because he is the only dragon that was smart enough to not land on the ground and get hit by a bunch of swords. And apparently that strategy was so successful that the ancient Nords were required to create their own shout just to force him to land on the ground so they can hit him. Like the fucking ancient Nords just like, ugh, land on the ground so I can hit you. Fuck, this is so unfair. We need to create Dragon Rend so we can hit with a sword. And it's like, why don't you just use archery or magic or fucking anything else? It's like, no, I need my sword so I can hit him. And then it's just like, bah, haha, now I can hit you with my sword. And it's like, why didn't you just become a stealth archer, you fucking idiot? Anyways, you fight Alduin, and then he's just like, oh wait, I'm actually invincible and can't be killed here, and then he runs away. So now you talk to Parthenax, and he explains that since you were able to fight off Alduin, it might be possible to capture a dragon and convince them to tell you where Alduin went. He also tells you that Dragon's Reach was originally built to hold captive dragons, so now you have to convince the Jarl of Whiterun to help you capture a dragon inside of his palace. So now you talk to the Jarl and ask him for help, but since the Civil War is still going on and he's afraid of being attacked during the process, he wants you to hold a peace council with the Greybeards and convince the Empire and the Stormcloaks to have a momentary truce while you sort out this dragon shit. And it's just like, the Civil War is so fucking stupid! Fuck! So now you have to ask the Greybeards to hold a peace council, you tell both sides to show up, and then you have to spend like 10 minutes just sitting at a fucking table talking about a bunch of shit that no one gives a fuck about, just so you can get both sides to agree to a momentary truce so you can continue the goddamn main quest and stop Alduin from destroying the entire world. Now, if we want to talk about why I absolutely hate the Civil War questline, this is probably the biggest example. It's like, here you are, the fucking Dragonborn. You're trying to stop Alduin from destroying the entire existence of the world as we know it, and all of these motherfuckers don't give a shit. It's all about the fucking Civil War. No one gives a shit about the dragons. And frankly, I don't blame them. Throughout the entire main quest, Alduin basically hasn't even done anything. He unintentionally saves your life at the beginning of the game, and then all he does is fly around Skyrim and revive his fellow dragons, only for your character to immediately show up and knock them out of the fucking sky. Like, sure, I suppose Alduin destroyed Helgen, but that's basically like a tiny pussy-ass town at the edge of the map with like 3 houses. Meanwhile, in Oblivion, shit was super fucked the whole way through. The Emperor gets assassinated, Kvatch is immediately destroyed, and there's Oblivion gates everywhere. Mehrunes Dagon is actually doing shit. You're with Martin the whole way through trying to figure out what to do, and the main quest actually feels like you're doing something. There's a clear goal. There's a villain who's doing bad shit. Meanwhile, in Skyrim, the main quest is just garbage. You go to Riverwood for no reason, and then you help out Gerdur and never see her again, and the Jarl needs help with the dragon, so you kill the dragon, and then you go to the Greybeards because you have nothing else to do, and then the Blades are introduced, and you basically learn nothing, and it's at this point where you even learn who Alduin is and why he's bad. And then you learn Dragon Rend so you can finally kill Alduin, but the Civil War is happening, so you need to do this thing, and it's like, this is the most aimless shit I've ever seen. Why the fuck are all these characters involved in the main quest? The Civil War doesn't matter at all, the Thalmor have done nothing revolving around the dragons, and the Blades are a completely unnecessary addition to the main quest. It's like Skyrim sets up this premise of dragons being this major threat to the world, and then the game just botches the whole fucking concept with all of this political bullshit. Like, there's these giant flying immortal nukes that are destroying everything and are eventually going to erase the universe in order to create an entirely new dimension, and everyone's just like, yeah, I know that's a problem and we'll deal with that eventually. But right now, okay, we need to talk about the Markarth incident. You see, because the Empire, and it's like, no, shut the fuck up. What the fuck is wrong with these people? I mean, Skyrim is still pretty fun and all, but Jesus Christ, the main quest is so poorly thought out. Anyways, after sitting at a table for 10 minutes mashing the A button, you can now finally continue the main quest. Apparently Esbern has a dragon's name written down somewhere, so now you can shout the dragon's name in order to lure them into a trap. However, as a final fuck you from the Blades, Delphine's just like, we found out that Parthenax is a dragon, and since he's a dragon, you have to fucking kill him. And if you don't do it, well, the Blades aren't gonna help you anymore. And it's like, Delphine, fuck off! Parthenax has just been sitting on a fucking mountain for thousands of years. He hasn't even done shit. He's only helped me this entire time. He basically taught me how to use Dragon Rend, the thing required to defeat Alduin, the thing required to save the entire fucking world, and you want me to kill him for no fucking reason? Delphine, you are such a fucking asshole, useless piece of shit. Like, oh no, the Blades won't help me anymore. Like, fuck off. I never liked you motherfuckers to begin with. Like, get the fuck out of here. Okay, so you go to Dragon's Reach to capture a dragon, and he's like, you have to go to Sovngarde to find Alduin, but without the wings of a dragon, you can't do that. It's like, okay, you gotta ride a dragon. Go, 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 go. You eventually enter Sovngarde, which is basically heaven for the Nords. You go to the Hall of Valor and team up with the ancient Nords who taught you Dragon Rend, and then you walk outside, then you kill Alduin, and that's the end of the game, and then nothing happens. The world is saved, Alduin is defeated. Does anyone care? Nope. That's it.